I'm joined here today for Primetime Local News with Rayanne Holion, the superintendent with the Buffalo Trail Public School Division. Thanks so much for joining us today. Now, you're all releasing a new podcast called Learning on the Trail. Can you tell me more about this?
We are releasing a new podcast, and we're so excited, Shelby, to share about this. We have such great opportunities in our school division for our students, and we wanted them to become more aware of different opportunities outside of grade 12. So we interview a variety of occupations, careers, people who have passion and knowledge about their field of study. And we share with students how to pursue that or what it would particularly look like.
And what was the inspiration that made BTPS come out with this podcast?
Oh, great question. And I will credit Michelle Webb, our deputy superintendent. We did some series of interviews for our Women in Leadership event that we had. And we thought we would take that to the next step and be able to share careers then with our students.
And what is the exact goal that you're hoping to achieve with having people come on this podcast and talk about their careers?
Yeah, so our goal, we're trying to have almost that career fair on your phone. So this enables students at any time to look at a variety of careers, get information, learn about the risks, the challenges, where to go. Our podcast notes have additional information. So if somebody could be potentially interested, they could look at something specific, or they could listen to them all and get some ideas about different careers and opportunities out there.
And how was the planning process to get the podcast started and be able to get guests on it?
Oh, well, thanks for asking that because this is not a lone venture. I have a great team. Linda Koski and Bree Blackie absolutely helped me out. And Linda did fantastic research on how we need to record it and how we need to put it on Anchor and then get it out to Spotify and our Apple and Google and all of that research. And then who would students be interested in? And we have a number of people who are BTPS graduates or BTPS employees, as well as other people from outside. You yourself have been on our podcast. You're the news reporter that we know. And so it's just ideas of who students might be interested in. And now that we've done a few, we get recommendations from people within our division of who would be great to reach out to.
Yes, along with the episode that I was on with you, how many total episodes are on this podcast right now?
So right now we have 7 if you go to Apple or Spotify or Google, but we have 3 more in the works that are just waiting to be released as well. So we have you, the news reporter, we have our custodian supervisor, we have a computer tech, we have a graduate of Lakeland College, a agrologist who's on our podcast, a volunteer firefighter, one of our very own principals. Shared that with us. We have a research associate. So someone from Wainwright grew up here who has gone on to do amazing things. So there's so many, the list will be endless.
And what other careers is BTPS hoping to showcase on the podcast right now?
Yeah, well, coming up, we have a mayor of Vermilion who will be released. We have a chief administrator officer from one of our villages who's on there, and a local computer tech who works for Buffalo Trail Public Schools as well. We're also hoping to set up, we have some information out for a keynote speaker, one of the youngest keynote speakers who talks about resilience in students. And yeah, so we're just going crazy trying to get a few of those podcasts out.
And for people interested, where can they access it and how can they reach out to be on it if they'd like?
Great. So we have a very simple email, podcast@btps.ca. So you can just email us there and we can absolutely set you up. And if anybody wants to listen, you can access it through our website, which is easy to find, Buffalo Trail Public Schools, BTPS, or Spotify, it's at BTPS 28, Apple Podcasts, or Google.
Perfect. And is there anything else you'd like to add for people to know about?
Oh, I just think people will be very interested, even if you're not a student, to listen to some of these because they're people who are very passionate and knowledgeable about their field of study. And it gives risks and challenges and how people have overcome that to to get into these career opportunities. And we talk about people who inspired them along their journey. So it's kind of, it's inspirational as well.
Well, I still believe this podcast is such an amazing idea that you're doing, and I cannot wait to hear all the other episodes that you'll have in the future. Thanks again for joining us today, Rayanne.
Thank you, Shelby, for having me.